In 2019, Aimé Leon Dore, founded by Teddy Santis, collaborated with New Balance and came out with 2 pairs of New Balance 997s. Both were very well received, and actually, we saw both these colorways come back as one shoe very recently with mismatched colorways on the left and right shoe. Now 5 years later and a bunch of collaborations later, Aimé Leon Dore is collaborating with New Balance again and coming out with this colorway. Aimé Leon Dore, New Balance 997 Dark Moss Angora. Now the shoe dropped on December 5th for $220 on Aimé Leon Dore's website. Took a long time for it to actually ship. I just got the shoe in hand not too long ago, and first impressions of this shoe. I love olive, one of my favorite colors. Usually I'm a grayscale type of guy, so like black, white, gray, right up my alley, but if I had to choose like a color, I would go with olive. But I will say I'm not a huge fan of how the olive goes with the yellow and the dark red as well as the blue. I don't think it blends in that well, but I will stress I'm a very simple, standard type of person when it comes to like design. Usually like 3 colors max on my sneakers I'm good with. So yeah, when there's like 4 more colors, for me, it gets a little busy. Now the materials on the shoe, the base layer, it is just mesh. Pretty regular for a New Balance shoe. And on the overlays, you see very smooth leather. And the leather, it is pretty nice. It doesn't feel like super flimsy. It is still very soft to the touch and it is very smooth. You don't really see like that kind of textured leather that a lot of people do like. Now, right under the eye stays, you do see a bit of suede and that dark, very dark green, just a little bit, not too much. And that suede also feels very smooth and nice to the touch. If that material was like more prominent across the shoe, that'd feel just delicious. It feels really nice. And then behind the New Balance logo, you also feel just a bit of suede as well. Now on this kind of dark red part of the shoe, that is like this TPU plastic overlay just to provide more support. And then on the ankle collar here, in that dark blue, where it looks kind of pebbled, that has like a thin type of nubuck layer or matte finish over it. And that wraps right around to the booty of the shoe where it says Aimé Leon Dore, so it is branded on the booty. And then moving up the tongue, you see this yellow tongue that also is branded with just New Balance branding, and it's made in USA. So if you didn't know, that means at least 70% of the value of this shoe is actually produced in the USA. And the material on this part, it is the same as the ankle lining around the booty. It is in this kind of matte finish with that pebbled texture. So overall, in terms of materials, a lot going on. That is nothing new for New Balance. That is pretty common on their sneakers. And then right out of the box, you get white laces with this dark olive green stripes or like speckles through it. Now it does come with 2 extra set of laces. So one in just plain white with no green. And the other one in that dark green, dark moss Angora color. Out of the 3, I would pick the white laces, either the ones with the green stripes or the ones just plain white. I think that looks the best, just makes the shoe kind of pop a little bit more. And on the lace tips, it also is branded too, very subtly. Now the New Balance 997 does come with an end cap midsole, and that is essentially New Balance's EVA foam wrapped around with a tougher polyurethane rim. And I will say, the midsole on this shoe does feel pretty firm, does feel kind of stiff, especially when you first wear the shoe. But if you've worn like a New Balance shoe with end cap cushioning before, you know kind of what to expect. And just in case you forget, it does have end cap branding on the heel of the shoe, as well as 997 New Balance. And the color of the midsole, it is kind of sail, like almost yellowish. I think white would have looked better on that part of the shoe, just to match laces, kind of contrast the darker colors on the upper of the shoe, but sail it is what it is. Now the outsole, it is a rubber outsole with that little New Balance in the cutout. Now the insole of the shoe, it is branded, so you get this floral print all over. Looks quite elegant, and you also get an Aimé Leon Dore tag that is actually like stitched on the heel of the shoe. Really like the design. The quality though of this, not so much. In the box of the shoe, the design on the lid, very similar to the insole. The paper inside, same thing. Now the text on the inside of the lid, with over 75 years of authentic American craftsmanship, New Balance made in USA is designed without compromise. This pair represents our unwavering commitment to those who walk their own path. Okay, and at the very bottom, like I said before, New Balance Made in USA footwear contains a domestic value of 70% or more. Made, capital made, makes up a limited portion of New Balance USA. Now in terms of sizing and comfort, I am a wide and flat footer. On Ama Leon Dore's website, they actually instruct you to go down half a size. I stuck with just going true to size, and I feel like it fits my fat feet pretty well. So like lengthwise, widthwise, really feels kind of like a glove. There's a little bit of extra room in the toe, like lengthwise, I guess, but nothing where I would go down half a size. Maybe if you don't have wide and fat feet, you can take their advice, go down half size. If you do have wide feet, I do recommend sticking true to size. And overall, comfort-wise, I will say you really do feel like the heel-to-toe drop. If you're not used to shoes like that with a larger heel-to-toe drop, it might get a little bit getting used to, and that is the category that I fall into. I don't really wear sneakers like that very often, but you do notice it pretty much immediately. But in terms of the overall comfort, like as a package, very lightweight shoe. New Balance are always pretty comfortable. The materials are very soft with this mesh-based overlay, no break-in time really. The cushioning, like I said, it is slightly firmer and denser, but once that breaks in, it shouldn't be too big of a problem. The tongue as well as the ankles are decently padded. So yeah, no real complaints here. And that brings the total sole score of the Ama Leon Dore New Balance 997 to 35 out of 50. Pretty good score compared to other collaborations. Now first, it is colorway. Like I said, I love olive, one of my favorite colors. Love that as a base, even though the shoe, I know technically the color is dark moss angora, but for all intents and purposes, it's olive to me. I love that it's the base. Don't love the other colors that come with it. White, I think it looks great with olive. Yellow, blue, as well as that dark red. It's not my favorite. Now in terms of the materials, really nice materials. The leather is very smooth. It's not super flimsy as well. I usually do like leather where you can see a little bit more texture, but this is still very nice at the touch. The little amounts of suede that is popping through in that dark green feels really nice too. And even though I don't love like too many materials on a shoe, it is New Balance. Can't be too surprised with them mixing a bunch of materials on their sneakers. So overall, really satisfied in terms of materials. Now in terms of the comfort of the shoe, if you're not used to like a big heel-to-toe drop in your sneakers, this can be a little bit, I wouldn't say uncomfortable because it still is a comfortable shoe. It just takes a bit of time getting used to. I think it's very lightweight. The cushioning is pretty dense, pretty firm. Would I say it's my favorite in my current rotation in terms of overall comfort? I still think I would go with the Gel-Lyte 3s that I have, the Marvel collaboration with Kith. I think that's probably my most comfortable shoe, just out of the shoes that I wear regularly. But yeah, this is still, for all intents and purposes, if you're just wearing this casually, very comfortable. Now in terms of the versatility of the shoe, I think the 997s are actually decently wearable. It does have that whole like dad shoe, running shoe vibe that is popular nowadays, but yeah, I think even if it wasn't like part of this hype cycle, I think it'd still be a pretty wearable silhouette. I don't think it's too bold, too out there where like only certain people can pull it off. Now in terms of the wearability of the colorway though, I think there's a few too many things going on for it to be super versatile, especially kind of that yellow tongue that really pops out. Yeah, I don't think it's the most wearable colorway, even though olive, I think, you know, if all things considered, is pretty wearable, but with all these colors mixed together, I don't think it's a super wearable colorway. Now in terms of the overall storytelling, I don't think there's like too much of a story to tell. It's kind of just like a collaboration between two brands. So you see Ama Leon Dore branding on the heel, the insole, the box is pretty nice as well. So there's hints of branding there, but compared to other collaborations with like Ama Manere and Air Jordan, it's not like that type of collaboration. So I don't think they were like really thinking about the overall storytelling and trying to get a message across with this shoe. No matter how popular New Balance is or has been for the past few years and currently, I'll just be honest, I've never been a huge fan of their shoes. They're just not the type of sneakers that I grew up to love. So as an adult, I just don't look upon them with like a fond memory, with like a lot of nostalgia, and I will always maintain that. But I will say out of the silhouettes that they do have, I think the New Balance 550s are pretty nice, and the 997s I think are pretty nice as well. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Soul Inclined. Let me know what you think of the Ama Leon Dore New Balance 997. Like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. And remember, tomorrow may never come, so wear your shoes.